Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be reviewing the Tier 9 Blitz Nation Collector Medium, the Herdbreaker. This is a tank that I am really nervous to see rolling around on the battlefield, and really excited to play. And that is because the Herdbreaker seems to be one of the most overpowered Tier 9s Wargaming is going to release. You might say, oh, Droodles, you're just saying that like you do for all tanks. No, trust me, I'm not. And I think by the time you're done watching today's video, you'll probably agree with me. In today's video, I'll be breaking into the statistics, armor profile, and live gameplay of the Herdbreaker. So by the time you're done watching today's video, hopefully you'll agree with what I feel when it comes to this tank. Let's start off simple and break into the statistics. How is the gun? How is the overall mobility of this tank? Well, as we can see, it features 2,840 damage per minute, which is actually quite nice, and that makes it one of the better DPM mediums in the tier. If we actually take a look, we can see that it's ranked 7 out of the 22 tier 9 mediums, so it's definitely in the top half of the DPM department. And I should also mention it features tungsten and adrenaline, which allows you to boost that DPM for a short period up to almost 4,000, which makes you the highest DPM tier 9 medium for a certain period of time. That's absolutely crazy, and it's something that's really going to scare your opponents. Not only that, it has really good damage per shot at 360, which means you're going to be cutting through most enemies with nice trades. The average damage per shot at tier 9 for the mediums class is probably around 340, so you do have more damage per shot. It is quite nice in that regard. You also have really good module damage, as we can see. When it comes to the penetration, standard pen, it's kind of average at 250, but the premium pen is the highest, 333. So you're not really going to have to worry about cutting through enemy armor. It's going to be really good in that regard. Gun handling wise, it's actually really good. 1200 meters a second shell velocity on the gold, and the standard is 880. It's kind of weird that the heat has more shell velocity than the AP. It's usually the other way around, but yeah, things got really good shell velocity for what it is on a premium heat shell. Its aiming time is a little bit on the slower side. It's about 3.5 seconds in total. However, its on-movement dispersion is fine. It's kind of average, but because of its hull traverse being so good, I don't really notice the gun blooming too much, especially for the alpha damage, the tungsten, and the overall DPM this thing features. I was really expecting this tank to have terrible overall on-movement dispersion. 10 degrees of gun depression makes this, well, the most gun depression medium in tier 9. And then when it comes to mobility, this is definitely where the tank's a bit slower. We can see that you have a top speed of 45, which makes it already one of the slowest tier 9 mediums. And then it also doesn't have a great power to weight ratio. It's got 17.7 on hard terrain, 13.7 on medium, which makes it the second slowest. Now you might think, wow, well, that kind of ruins the tank, right? Not really, and this is the reason why. Look at the armor profile that this tank has. This is the 250 millimeters of standard AP, aiming in on the Herdbreaker. This lower plate here is actually over 320 thick. That means even loading gold, you are not going to be able to pen that, as it's over 370. That lip there is stronger than the 268 version 4. Now imagine that you are, 200 meters away or 150 meters away from your enemy, and they're shooting at you, right? They aim here or they aim here, but because of RNG, the shell sways right into this lip. Well, that's going to get you a lot of troll bounces. Not only that, but the upper plate on this tank is upwards of 260 on flat ground, which means if you're using gun depression, yeah, I mean, you're not going to pen that thing's upper plate. And when it comes to the turret, on flat ground, the turret's weakest point is 280 thick. When using gun depression, it's also about 270, so either way, it's going to be really good. And then the mantlet, you can't pen. Physically impossible to pen the mantlet. Anything around the mantlet, 500. Like, you can't pen the turret apart from these little itty-bitty cheeks here and here. It also has a hatch, and you might think to yourself, wow, that hatch is really weak. Well, not really. It's 312 millimeters thick on the edges of the hatch, so when using gun depression with heat, you're going to need about 330 mils of heat pen to reliably cut through that hatch. And the only real weak point is this tiny little bar right here. It's kind of like a T95E6 hatch. So because of that, it's going to be really hard to reliably pen this thing's armor on the hatch. It also has surprisingly good side scraping armor here. It's got some really troll angles, as we can see, on the upper and lower half of the hull. I mean, you can understand why I consider this vehicle to be overpowered when you see just how incredibly strong that armor profile is, right? You have the armor profile of a tier 9 heavy. Not even sugarcoating. I would trust this thing's armor more than I do most tier 9 heavies. And when you pair that with the fact that you also feature great DPM, solid mobility, and overall gun depression, it's going to make the Herdbreaker one of the just most diabolical tier 9s to go up against. So yeah, I personally consider this tank to be kind of overpowered. I think that this thing is going to be really, really scary. When it comes to obtaining this tank, at the time of recording, it's going to be released in a Halloween event. I don't know how it's going to be released, so I can't really give you any insight on that. But what I can give you insight on is the tank's capabilities. So here we are on Canal. Up against us, we have an FCM, we got a P-44 Pantera, and an Object 84 in the mediums class. And the first thing that I can do here is show you the mobility. You're going to notice that while this tank may only go 45, its overall power to weight ratio isn't that bad. Already up to 30, 35, 36. Like, at least for me, the tank doesn't feel that slow. Now, we did get a really bad spawn here because all of our mediums are already in the front line, and for some reason, the top tier medium gets thrown all the way in the back. But you can definitely notice that, for me, at least, the tank doesn't seem that slow. We're pretty quickly chilling at 45 kilometers per hour, and I don't know, I just don't think that this thing's actually as slow as it looks like on paper. It doesn't seem slow at all to me. We got the enemy Tiger 2 in the mid-bridge here, and let's aim it on the Tiger 2. There you go, nice 376. Not sure why that Tiger decided to cross that, but okay. Pretty poor decision. There goes all that Tiger's health. Well, long live that player. Let's see, I saw something break over here. Somebody gonna move up. There you go, we got the Ag Tiger. I'm just gonna drive over, get a nice shell. Got the enemy Ag Tiger in the back, which obviously I don't want to be hit by, so we'll just reload. And there you go, Ag Tiger pushes off. I'm just gonna move up, put on my tungsten. There you go, 392 into the enemy Object 84. Reloading again. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Another 400 damage shell. We do get penned. I'm not even sure where, to be honest, but I don't really care. I don't even care if that Pantera hits me. With the tungsten and adrenaline this thing has going on right now, it's going to be really hard to actually counter me, you know? So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to move all the way up, and that was just a bad shot. I'll be honest. I can just chill on this ridgeline, and I don't really think the enemy's going to have much of a counter for me. We're just going to pen the Ag Tiger, back up. But this is where this tank is just going to be so dumb. I mean, how do you counter this thing when I can just sit on the ridge like this? I have 360 damage per shot. I have great DPM. I have great gun depression. I mean, it's kind of hard to counter this tank. 150 damage, high explosive. I mean, this guy's game is already over, and we are already up to 3,000 damage. So, that player's dead. That leaves us with just one tank left, and that is the SU-122-54. And we already know that player's in the back here, so we can just aim in on the SU, aiming, boom, there you go, 450 damage shot. You can see what I mean by, while the aiming time is kind of bad, the gun is still pretty accurate, everything considered. We get another shot into the SU, and, well, that player's game is over. We did 3,700 damage in this incredibly short 2-minute and 30-second game. Tell me the tank did not just dominate there. With the tungsten and adrenaline, it gives you over 400 damage per shot. And then you have that 400 damage per shot with a really good reload, more DPM than every other tank up against you, and armor that they reliably can't pen. I mean, yeah, the Pantera went through me, but that's because I showed him my lower plate for free, because I just wanted to out-trade him, right? That Pantera shot me twice and took like 400-ish health off, and then I shot the Pantera twice and took 800, 850 health off. So I think we won the trades big time there on that player. But again, it's just so crazy what this thing can do. Personally, if I were to balance this tank out, I would probably nerf it. I'm not even sure where, but most likely in either the gun department or the DPM. You know, if you want a tank to have this much armor, what you need to do is you need to honestly just make it a heavy. I really think that's the best way to do it, right? If you want it to be a hull down medium, kind of like the M48 Patton at tier 9, then the DPM has to be a lot less. You can't give this thing 2,900 DPM. But because it has it, it's just going to be so insane. So here we are, game number 2. This puts us on Desert Sands, and in this battle, we are going to, once again, move up. Desert Sands is all medium terrain, so this is a power-to-weight ratio here that's going to be pretty average on most maps. And we can see, again, like, the tank doesn't feel that slow. Even though it is slow, it just, I don't know, it still seems mobile enough to get the job done in most games. So we have the T-34-2 in front of us. I'm just going to move up. There you go. Nice hatching shell into the T-34-2. Reloading. And 3, 2, 1. Let's see what this T-34-2's game plan is here. I actually feel like it's just kind of free for me to poke this spot. There you go. Get another nice pen. And the T-34-2 shoots, which allows me to reload. And there you go. 516 damage into that player. And our Pantera gets the clear. We have the enemy RU, which my HE manages to not penetrate because it went just a little bit too low. But that's okay. We're just going to aim it on the RU again. Aiming. Boom. Okay, not only does my HE not pen, but a 580 alpha gun rolls me for 670 damage. We truly love my RNG. Alright, well, let's see what we can do to the enemy defender FEE. There you go, nice 391 tracking shell. It's obviously pretty nice, and I'm just going to chill right here. We'll see if we can get some more damage into the defender. Let's go for another shot, and this guy, yeah, you did like literally 2 damage to me. Not sure why you would make that play, but we're just going to aim it on his hatch. Get a nice 450 max roll. Take that player right out of the game. We have E75 on the side over here, and I would definitely love to help out with the E75s. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing right now. We're going to move all the way over here. We got the RU in the back. The only tank I'm really realistically worried about is the Waffenträger, but I don't think that Waffenträger can shoot me. You know, they probably could from this angle, but it's whatever. I have enough health to take a shell from the WT, so I'm not super worried. I just have to be careful here. Alright. Oh, we do get penned. Let's get another shell into the enemy E75 for 400 damage, which is obviously pretty dang nice. And now we can pen the E75 again for another 400. E75 bounces me, which isn't too surprising. 3, 2, 1, and we get the clear. Up to 4,200 damage now, and that leaves us with only 1 tank left, the enemy Waffenträger. Alright, well, I already know where that player is, and they are going to fight the Kampfpanzer 70, and probably win, actually. Where's the IS-3? Ah, camping in the back. Well, we're going to move up, and we're going to see if we can get to this WT as quickly as possible. WT pens the Kampfpanzer, and here's the thing. Kampfpanzer does not out-reload that WT, so if that WT's smart, they'll just try and, you know, out-DPM that guy, knock it a low roll, and clear him from the game. But, apparently, oh, they do get the clear. We load in a high explosive, we're going to ram that player for another 350, and then our adrenaline will let us get the clear. So there you go, 5,285 damage, 2,020 blocked, and one of the easiest farms in my life. Back-to-back games that are just so incredibly brain-dead, dude. Look at this. Top on the team, aced it, and we also earn a lot of credits in this thing because, after all, it is a collector. Okay, well, let's keep going. That's 2 games down. We got 2 more to go. So far, I think you're already starting to understand why I consider the Herdbreaker to be kind of a dumb tank. I don't really think there's any other tier 9 mediums that can effortlessly deal with these games as easily as I am right now. And something else I should mention about this tank, you didn't really get to notice it, but the high explosive damage per shot is insane on this vehicle. The damage per shot on the standard is 360. The high explosive damage per shot is 460. That makes it one of the highest damage per shot mediums for the high explosive, and it gives you upwards of 3,600 DPM. If you use your tungsten, you have 530 damage on average with your high explosive, and upwards of 5,000 damage per minute. Alright, we're on Winter Mali now, and let's see what we got up against us. 50 TP. I don't really care about the heavies, though, right now. We're focused on the mediums, and that is a Progetto and an Object 84. I don't know if it's the same one, but we'll see. Unfortunately, my T92E1 is not really helping me, and that's kind of a bummer, but I really think that I can deal with both the Progetto and Object 84 if I had to. Well, we'll sit, we'll wait. We got the BZ, which I tried to hit, but we unfortunately missed just by a slight bit. However, if the BZ is going to sit there, that one may have hit, actually. I don't know if it did, but maybe. Alright, let's move up. What we do know is that the enemy mediums are not here. And because of that, I have the ability to flank for pretty free. They only have one tank destroyer, which is an SU-130 PM, so yeah, we're just going to get behind them. And again, you'll notice the mobility on this tank, it doesn't feel bad, right? We're chilling at our top speed right now, 45. It seems so much more mobile than it's supposed to on paper. So let's move up. We got the Luva, got the ST1, and I haven't seen anything yet in terms of mediums, but there you go. There's the SU-130. Alright, Mr. SU, how are you doing? Well, we're going to load in a high explosive for 544 damage, and there goes a pretty solid chunk of your health. I need to ignore the Progetto and let that player shoot me. I don't really have a choice because I need to take the SU-130 out of the game. Why they have a Progetto literally spawn camping, the world will literally never know. But that's Blitz for you, and you'll never figure out why the Blitz player base is so bad sometimes. That's really the only way to say it. But I think we'll be fine now that we're, you know, in the face of this Progetto. It's going to be pretty hard for this player to reliably counter me. So, there you go. They're dead. Out of the game. We did bleed a lot of health. I won't lie. We bled a lot of health. But at the same time, I don't really think I made any play that I wouldn't have made again. There's just no way I would have predicted that they had the Progetto there. There's no world anybody would have. So, let's continue going up here. I got the Luva on the back, which we get a nice 382 damage shot into. The Luva manages to miss my weak point. And that allows me to reload and get the clearing shell. Okay, pretty good stuff. Got to be a little cautious about what else they may have, but we're doing fine. Alright, we got the ST1 spotted in the back, and I would assume that they have some vehicles right over here, like the 50 TP, which we get a nice 380 damage shell into. Alright, well, we'll just chill right here. Use my gun depression on the ridgeline, aiming on the enemy BZ, back up. BZ shoots my teammate. And will we be able to get a shell into this player before the IS-8? No, we will not. But we're already over 3,000 damage. And again, pretty easy game. It's just dumb what you can get away with. I mean, you saw my tungsten. 2 shots into that SU-130 PM with tungsten, and I brought that full health medium, or lightly armored tank destroyers, I want to say, basically down to 0. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put on my adrenaline, we're going to put on my tungsten. There you go, we get the bounce, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ram this guy, which is going to bring him down a little bit of health, and then I can just pen a heat shell on his upper plate and get the clear. 4,041 damage. So once again, even in this game, one that didn't look as good in the beginning, we still farmed and farmed and farmed. There you go. We did not ace it, but I tell you, we did top on the team. This thing's just so stupid. It just bullies. Now, I know that we've only been fighting tier 8 so far. We've been getting really lucky with the matchmaker. But I'm pretty confident that even against tier 10s, it's just not going to be a matter. Alright, well, let's try and get this last game out. I kind of do hope we fight tier 10s in this last battle, because we give a full idea of how it plays. Alright, well, we did finally get in a tier 10 match. I had to play a couple games. Whenever you get a brand new tank, you're almost guaranteed for the first few battles to go up against tier 8s. So I had to get through that little period, and now we are up against tier 10s. What do we have? Well, a 907 and a Centurion 7-1. We have a stock M46 pattern, so that's not great. I'm not too worried about something poking me there. I'm just going to move up a bit aggressive, honestly. It could be a really, really aggressive play, but I feel like I could get away with it. 907's already backing off, and while we do have the Centurion, I can trade that player pretty dang hard. Ah, but they managed to hesh pen my lower plate. Well, it's going to be pretty hard to out damage per minute me, dude, when I've got so much more DPM. And not only that, this thing also obviously features tungsten, so I can't really low roll either. So we've already done a lot of damage there. We got the enemy 752 in front, who bounces me once. We get a 450 max roll. Now we reload again. 3, 2, 1, boom. Look at that DPM, dude. We're already up to 2,000 damage in this game. That's crazy. 2,000 damage in this short battle already? I mean, that is so much. Now, 907 shot me, which was really annoying. I'm not worried about the 907. I'm worried about a 183 specifically. That is what personally worries me right now. I don't know where their 183 would be. And I don't know if that player's going to drive over the ridgeline and try to nuke me or not, right? So that's always something that you have to be worried about. But look at that roll, 371 into the 907. That's an incredibly huge roll. And I don't know what this 907's game plan is, but we can get another pen into that player right there. The Bat Chat's going to reload and take that player right out of the game. We're already up to 3,400. Like, do I even need to say anything else? Now, that 183 might drive up this ridge, so we have to be really careful. Alright, we're good. We are good. I have a feeling that the boss Chatillon will spot the 183 anyway, which the bat shot does. You can see the aiming time on this tank. It's quite nice, right? Like, the gun is surprisingly good on its accuracy, which is what I was saying before, right? Like, it's not like this gun sucks. It's actually really, really nice in almost every department. So what are we going to do here? I'm just going to move up. I really am. I think that I can just move up here. I got a Kron overlooking me, and, ooh, that's a Yag. I didn't think there was going to be a Yag here as well. Well, the Yag just shot, so not exactly sure what the entire game plan is, but I know that my game plan is going to be putting on tungsten and adrenaline and getting one shell into the enemy 183, reloading, and getting 2 shells into the 183. However, with that enemy hitting me, ooh, we're actually alive. Alright, well, I think the best course of action now is to get to the side of the Yag, just like this, and stay behind this player, because now this Yag is in a really, really awkward spot. We get another shell into the Yag. We're just going to keep shelling behind this player up to 5,400 damage so far, which is obviously pretty good. Keep on chilling behind the Yag, but now we obviously have the 183, who manages to mess up the shell, and I managed to pen the 183. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get behind the Yag while dealing with the 183, so let's do that. There you go. Take that player out. Now we back up, reload again. 3, 2, 1. Take that player out of the game. Woo! That was a incredibly tricky engagement there. 6,553 damage. 1,200 blocked, and what I consider to be a crazy carry. So, yeah, you still don't think this tank's that good? You can let me know in the comments. But we just dealt with a Yag and a 183. Now, sure, those players probably weren't the best, but I also don't think they expected a tier 9 medium to have enough armor to absolutely shrug off their shells like it was nothing. So, yeah, this thing's kind of insane, guys. It's kind of insane. 2,015 damage and top on the team. I will tell you that the Herdbreaker is an overpowered tank. I will tell you that the armor is crazy, and that the gun on this tank is just as good as a tier 10 mediums. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. But, yeah, you want to get your hands on this vehicle. If it's cheap, we'll have to see how you get your hands on it, but I'll be keeping you posted on the event and everything you need to know. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.